Guys, it's Eve again. It is the 9th of March today. I'm back with another quick album review, and today we're going to look at Knee Deep in Nostalgia by Beans on Toast, which came out last year. Full disclosure, I am a Beans on Toast fan. Like, I'm already a fan of this guy, right? So there is a little bit of preconceptions here. I wasn't just going to do, like, obviously artists I didn't listen to. Like, I'm going to do ones that I do listen to. Beans on Toast put 2 albums out in 2020. And he, for those who are familiar, he puts an album out every year, like on his birthday, generally speaking. And he had 2 last year. He had The Unforeseeable Future, and he had, which is basically a lockdown album. And then he had this one, which is a very nostalgic album, as the title may suggest. Beans is like, or Jay's name, his entire writing style is very sort of like slice of life, which isn't for everyone, but personally I like it, and it's quite influential for me. A thing to note about this album, it was actually produced by Frank Turner, who he's a long-time friend with. I am a fan of Frank Turner. I have a poster. Like, I'm quite a big Frank fan. He rocks up on this album, as does Jess Guys, who is his wife as well, in some of the backing vocals, or at least it sounded like her backing vocals. So I was like, interesting. This was a whole family affair. That's nice to know. Yeah, there's a lot of sort of inside jokes and stuff in Jay's music, and like, he refers a lot to sort of things that happened in the past and his friends, especially if you listen to like Standing on the Chair, which is his first album. There were so many sort of like references to like Nambuka and people he hangs out with and people he knows and blah blah blah, which is really cool. Like, anyway, so yeah, that's who Beans on Toast is. Album. We're going to talk about the album. So here's the thing: this album doesn't deviate from his formula, right? This album is very much like his other albums, and the nice thing, the double-edged sword thing about him is that like he doesn't really change much as a musician, as a writer, as whatever, and he's kind of his own thing and his own person, which is lovely if you like that kind of thing. If you are a new listener, this is not the album I would recommend to listen to first, if I'm honest with you. This is not to say this album is bad. It's very good. It's well produced. I like that there's different sort of like different sort of styles of music on it. Like, he uses a lot more instrumentation than perhaps he would usually use. Normally his things are very much an acoustic guitar on his own kind of thing. He has a much more depth in these songs on this album, but I do really get the impression that he's just rehashing a lot of his usual stuff onto this album, and just because it's got some more instrumentation doesn't make it different to what he usually does. Key thing he talks about obviously is nostalgia, but Beans always talks about nostalgia. Like, that's always been his thing. He talks about things that are happening at the moment and things that happened in the past. He may put nostalgia as a sort of main theme, and he talks about how he watched Home Alone and stuff, like in the opening track and stuff, and how he did things when he was younger, and how he's sad about turning 40, and obviously they're great, really cool. I just think it's being done better by him and by other artists. That being said, I will say that Once Upon a Time made me cry. Like, that song, I cried at that song. That is some of his best writing. I couldn't help feel a little bit like, I don't know, you kind of get what you get with him, and that's cool. I just don't think it's his best album. I think if you are new to Beans on Toast's music, listen to Standing on a Chair, like, listen to it all the way through, like all 50 tracks, listen to it. And if you like it, then check this out. If you don't like it, don't check this out. I don't think you'd enjoy it. All that being said, this album's fine. This is a good album. I would listen to it again. Maybe not in full. Maybe in the background, though. I'll listen to it again. But Once Upon a Time is a great song, and it's going straight on the playlist. I don't want an excuse to talk about Frank Turner, like I'm genuinely a massive Frank Turner fan. Maybe another time. Not quick review any of his albums, right? Because, like, I've listened to them all, like, to death. Anyway, more rambling. That being said, thank you for watching. Yeah, enjoy your evening. This is a bit late today, but there we go.